Thanks for staying with us. Welcome back. I owe initially an apology to our next guest. I referred to him as Ralph Angell going out, and it's actually Ray Angell. Ray, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Good to have you here. Imagine me getting some information wrong. No. It almost never happens.
That's right.
Ray, good to have you here.
Thank you.
For our viewers who aren't familiar with who you are Ray is the general chairman of the volunteers for the RBC Heritage Golf Tournament. Ray has been with them now, held that position for 26 years, I understand.
I've been with the tournament for 26 years and general chairman for 6.
Okay, gotcha. So you've been around, your face has been visible for 26, but you've been running this volunteer program for 6, and I understand that is quite an undertaking. In fact, you said here to us that you are actually looking currently for volunteers for the upcoming event in April.
We are. In fact, we're having a recruiting session at Sun City November 14th and 15th at Pinckney Hall. 10 o'clock in the morning until 2 in the afternoon on the first day, 10 o'clock in the morning until noon on the second day. Anybody in the area, not necessarily Sun City, but we certainly want the Sun City people there, can go to the gate, tell the guard that they're going into the recruiting session at Pinckney Hall. The guard will give them instructions and send them on down. We'll have 6 committees represented there. We can register the individuals on the spot, and we can also register returning individuals at Sun City on the spot.
Ray, for our viewers that are interested in being part of the tournament and being a volunteer, what are you looking for out of them? What's expected?
Well, it's expected, number one, that they can work roughly 20 hours. That's 4 shifts. That they'll go through a training session, that they'll pick their uniforms up. We have in mid-March will be uniform pickup. Uniforms must be picked up those 2 days or we assume they're not working. There's a registration fee of $100 for all volunteers returning and new. That registration fee must be paid by January the 15th, or again, we assume that they will not be working.
They're out.
They're out. The new volunteers...
You got to pay to play, man.
You got to pay. Well, you do get a few perks.
Yeah, well, I would imagine you do.
You get a hat, you get a shirt, you get a windbreaker, a nice windbreaker. You wear your own black pants. You get meal tickets for every day you're working. You get preferential parking and transportation from the school to the tournament and back, Hilton Head Prep. And we have an expanded volunteer tent this year with TV and goodies sponsored by Tide Point and Palmetto Electric.
And everybody always looks so good in that tournament. All the volunteers are just dressed to the nines. And
yeah, they really are. You mentioned that, uniforms. That's something really unique to what we do that brings an air of sophistication and tradition to our tournament. These guys are decked out. You don't see that everywhere, do you?
No, we're very particular about uniforms. You have to show up with the proper hat, obviously the shirt, windbreaker, and the black pants. And if you're not in uniform, you will not work that day.
You'll be a spectator.
You'll be a spectator. And the other thing I might mention, which is a good perk, is that uniform pickup. Each of the volunteers has an opportunity to purchase up to 4 ground passes at half price, which is $75.
Wow, yeah, that really is a lot of perks. Now, you'd mentioned here also, why would someone, in your opinion, because I mean you've seen them come from all different directions,
Absolutely.
all walks of life, all different types of careers.
Yes.
Why would somebody want to, in your opinion, volunteer their time for an event like this?
Well, I can answer it with a number: $1.5 million to local and regional charities.
Pretty good one.
They have to be very, very proud, particularly with the economic conditions that we're faced with today, that they can support these charities. And a lot of these charities are based strictly on the money that they get from the foundation. So they should be very pleased with that. And they do have the ability to be very close to the golfers, particularly the marshals. They're with an organization that is probably the largest in the Low Country when you look at $80 million impact. So they're allowing the community to grow, and they're allowing the organizations that the money goes to grow also, as far as the other organizations are concerned.
You've been involved with the tournament now, being a volunteer for over 20 years, general chairman for 6. What really lights your fire about it? Why do you do it? I mean, this is a lot of work. I mean, this is time consuming, and it's, you know, it can be a lot of headaches, I can imagine, from time to time.
This is a unique opportunity for me. I mean, with 1,200 volunteers, we have 60 redcoats, which are the chairman, vice chairman. We have a base 12 committees. And so coordinating the committees, coordinating the volunteers, and coordinating the effort to be out there to get these volunteers and recruiting. We never had to recruit in the past. 6 years ago, the applications were sent out, the applications came in, the chairman wrote up the schedules, they set up the training sessions, and the tournament started. But now we have to do the recruiting, and we need 1,200. We've operated in the past with fewer than 1,000. This past year we had just a little under 1,100.
So this event coming up at Pinckney Hall and Sun City, that's a big deal. I mean, that's very crucial to the success of gaining the volunteers necessary to pull this off, isn't it?
3 years ago, Sun City represented 25 volunteers, Sun City and Sun City area.
We are big Sun City fans on this show,
Fun
man.
City.
We love our Fun City folks.
This year was 225.
Wow.
Well, you look at 225 against a little under 1,100, and you can see how important they are.
There's
Yes,
no
I would
question.
say
They're
so.
there, they show up on time, they manage themselves with carpooling. We have individuals who work the tournament who live there that help us out quite a bit as far as the ins and outs of Sun City and getting the meeting rooms and getting the schedule set up. And they do television, as you're aware of.
And that's something people don't realize, Daniel, is how many volunteers it really takes
put on this
to
event.
put on a tournament, between
Yeah.
drivers for the players, you know,
Right.
people that go ahead and make sure that everybody's going to the right place in terms of the spectators and so on, and all the other things behind the scenes. So cahoots to you and your
Absolutely.
staff, because it really takes a lot of work.
An event of this magnitude is a massive undertaking, and we could not do it without you. Our community owes you a great debt. We, as regular patrons, owes you a great debt. And what an honor it is to have you on our program.
Well, what an honor it is to be here.
It's great
Thanks
to
so
see
much
you.
for being
Thank
here
you.
today, Ray.
Thank you very
Ray,
much.
we will see you soon.
Yes.
See you in April.
See you in April.
Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to be talking some holiday gift ideas with the two Chris's. This should get interesting. We'll see you in a minute.